round, so I'll see you guys then. Alright, here we go. Round 2, game 1. And this hand is a keeper. If I can hit, well, just about anything, and this is still doing pretty well. So I'm going to keep this one. My opponent, unfortunately, had to mulligan. Now is all the way down to 5. The question for me is, which one of these is my first drop? If I rip a 3-drop off the top, then it's going to be the Elvish Mystic. But other than that, I'm probably just going to start with the Sunblade so I can swing in for 2. Okay, so not a 3-drop, so I'm going to start with my Sunblade Elf. So I'm going to yield for no play. Alright, so I've got the mirror, and he comes up. Ah, Bronze Sable. Well, that stops my Sunblade Elf. I don't want to trade that off. Okay, so what do we see? Another land? Okay. So next turn I'll get myself into, let's see, either a Razorfoot or a Paragon. That's a decision that does not need to be made now. So drop him. That Bronze Sable gets a free swing in. I'm not going to block with either of my guys. So let's see, I can go... Let's see, when does the Willforged Golem become a possibility? I have 3 lands, 2 creatures. So maybe in 2 turns from now. Really? No swing? Well, I suppose that's fine if he's just going to hold it back on defense. Alright, we've got a Selfless Cathar. Just going to help with that Willforged Golem. Since there are no white creatures to pump at the moment, I'm just going to start with the Razorfoot Griffin. That way when the Paragon comes down, it will actually do something. So next turn, doesn't really matter what I draw, I will be able to play the Willforged. And in 2 lands, I'll be able to start pumping the team. Alright, so he's got a really Avarice Amulet. Okay, so for those of you unfamiliar, equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has Vigilance, and at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. When equipped creature dies, target opponent gains control of Avarice Amulet. So if I can kill a Bronze Sable that is going to be a 4/1 Vigilance, then I get this little puppy. So I don't see him equipping it. Just seems kind of risky. Oh well. Okay, so I've got 3 lands and 3 creatures, so I can play the Willforged. If I do that, I'm definitely going to play the Cathar, because it means I get that out for free. Let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely willing to trade the Golem for the Sable and the Amulet. So I think I'm just going to play it out that way. See if he lets it resolve. Alright, it sticks as expected. So I'll tap my whole team. Doesn't really matter which way I tap the elf. Okay. So feel free to trade your Sable for my Golem, because then I will get your Avarice Amulet and it will immediately go on to something with Evasion. Alright, first main. He doesn't do it. Is he gonna do it? He's got 2 floating. You know you want to. Aww. Oh, got another Convoker. Well, now I can still just kind of dirtle around and build up a board presence. So I can get that Paragon out. I can hold back Willforged to block. If he does something about that, I am willing to sacrifice one of these other guys just to take this down. Now the question is there some way that he's going to gain life that's going to turn this... Well, even if it does, I'll still block with the Willforged Golem. So I'll just send the Razorfoot over for now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I can convoke this out next turn if I want to. Alright. let's see what his game is with the Avarice Amulet. He could just be letting it sit on there and do nothing with it, just so he draws out a whole bunch of stuff. That's completely legitimate. Especially up against a deck with no removal. In the sideboard I've got removal for artifacts, but... Alright, so he puts out invasive species. What's he gonna bounce? Just the Sable? No, I'll land, okay. Alright, so I get another Paragon, which is pretty strong. I could really use this just one more land so I could play a Sanctified Charge. Yeah, so it looks like the correct play at the moment is just to play a Siege Worm. And I will hold back my beefiest guy, my first striker. I'm actually happy to swing with the first striker, just to get a little extra damage in there. Because as soon as I draw that land off the top, I think I can get a Sanctified Charge in that'll be lethal. Especially with Trample over here. So let's see, power on the board now is 5, 6, 7, 11... I've got this too, that can blow up pretty well if I can't get a Sanctified Charge off. Anyway, 11, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then you add all the Sanctified Charge stuff on. Yeah, and it really doesn't matter how he blocks, because it's going to be a blowout anyway. Can I get a land? A little bit of land? Not a land. Okay. So... it's not a land, but I can still get a little bit of pump here. I can send him with things that are big enough to where he's going to lose creatures over them. So get those 4 guaranteed in there, and then make him deal with my bigger guys. If I could just have a little bit more mana, just one more, I could be using the Sunblade Elf. I could use Sanctified Charge. If it doesn't happen, I can always just hold up next turn and use Cathar a little bit more profitably. So he's deciding on blockers. I don't know if he knows how Trample works or not, unless he's got some sort of... Okay, yeah. So right now I still get 1 through there. Sign... Well, I guess... Got some sort of pump effect. I guess I want to take out one thing, so I'll at least put that on the Sable. Alright, got my first strike through. Poke him for a point there. And looks like I could have just killed him if I would have swung out. Since I'm not playing for a huge prize, I'm not doing the combat math to quite the same extreme that I normally would. A meditation puzzle. He plays the card I refuse to play. Okay. Well, I'm fine with that. So he keeps refilling his hand. Avarice Amulet isn't actually as bad as I thought it was. Especially if you're playing up against something like green-white. I don't know that I could main deck it, though. I mean, unless you've got, like, I don't know, a wall you put it on or something like that, but then you still have to look out for the unconditional removal spells. But he's been drawing plenty of cards off of it, which he's needed since he had to mulligan. So he tapped and untapped his mana a whole bunch, and now he's got a surprisingly only 3/3 Scavenger. I'm not really big on this card, and this is one of the reasons why. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I just swing in and win here. Right? Let's see, I can play the Skirmisher to get an extra point. Sack the Cathar to make everything big. He really just doesn't have any good blocks here. Yeah, so I will get a Skirmisher out to get an extra point on the board. And that extra point, I'll actually give that to the Sunblade Elf. Make him have to block over here if he wants to take that down. Because I've got everything that's at least a 3/3. So it's going to pump up to a 4/4. So it'll be able to survive that. Okay. So everybody's coming in. Everybody, everybody. Once he declares blockers, I'll pop this, which will actually grow that to being a 4/4. But that's okay. He'll also get in some extra damage. Okay, he just goes in and scoops. Well, again, I'll take this out and add in the Reclamation Sage and